From Wichita, Kansas, this is Midwest Sports Saturday. I'm Joey McWilliams. We're live at Friends University. I'm here with Levi Converse. I'm going to let Levi go here in just a second because he's about to get our special guest for the day, who I may have to tippy-toe a little bit just to get up to where Levi is, but if our guest comes in, he's a little bit taller, that's all right too. We'll go from there. Levi, by the way, God bless you, sir. Thank you for everything. I know it's game day here. You guys have already had 2 soccer games and a football game to boot. So I'll let you go and I'll start the show here officially.
Sounds good.
And maybe get a chance to visit with you here in a moment.
All right, sounds good. I'm working on getting Terry.
All right.
Everybody stay tuned.
That's good. We are here live at Friends University, and I am absolutely just, I'm thrilled to be here. Now, ordinarily we'd be outside. But once again, just like last week, it started raining. I don't know if I'm bringing the rain with me, but we had to be inside last week, so we're going to be inside here today as well. That's just one of the hazards of it. But we are here for NAI football today, and a big game as Bethel is in town here in Wichita to take on Friends. It is a KCAC matchup today. Bethel coming in undefeated, Friends 1-1 on the year, and it should be a good contest. We have unofficially named it the Terry Harrison Bowl, as Coach Harrison was in Bethel for 3 or 4 previous years, I believe 4 previous years, and now here at Friends University. And so it's a new era here in Wichita. Listen, we have a lot going on, a few things to talk about. We actually have some scores already, and we are going to get you scores over the course of the day, and we'll be here for a post game tonight as well here following the contest between Bethel and Friends, actually out on the football field here in just a moment. So that kickoff is set for 7 o'clock Central Time. I want to give a shout out to anyone watching us that has been to a football game already today, and maybe, well, just maybe, a few of you are getting ready to watch this game as well. So should be a lot of fun. We're excited about being here. Also, a shout out to the folks from NAI F-Ball, as they have been watching and keeping up with me. Corey, been keeping up with me today, so I appreciate that and helping me stay in line with some of my tweets. I'm glad you're watching. All right, top 25. Let's go ahead and get right here with this. We'll run down top 25. This game is set to get underway at 6 o'clock tonight. Number 1 team in the country is Morningside, and it is a top 25 matchup. Morningside going to Dordt to take on the Defenders. Both teams undefeated at 1-0. And listen, you're talking about folks who are top in the country. There's my guest right there. So I'm going to hold off on the Morningside and Dordt for a moment, and I want to let this guy come on in here first.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that is fantastic. All right, I hope you're in view. I hope you're in camera angle. That is all right. Okay, let me introduce my guest here. This is Coach Terry Harrison, the person who we've decided made coaching the school, and also for me, this is actually a special moment. It's the first time I had a chance to get to you face-to-face, so it's an honor, Coach. Thank you for taking a little time.
Well, thank you. Love what you do for kids. I know, speaking for, previous school and then where we're at now, I know families really appreciate it. And, I mean, anything you do to promote the kids and, what you do truly is special, and it makes a big-time experience, so I appreciate you.
All right. Well, listen, let me give you this. And you can hold that. Yeah, it's already good to go.
Yep.
Don't turn it off. So
I'm
you
good.
got it down about where your zipper is. Should be able to get that in there. I am thankful again to see Coach Harrison. And Coach, really quickly, then let me ask you. And I know it's game day too.
Yeah.
So that's why it's even more of a privilege to get to visit with you live right now.
I'm not a game day stressor, so we're good to go.
It's all hay's already in the barn.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Fine. Okay, with that having been said there, and I'll have you scoot over just a fraction. I want to make sure you're in. Coach, 1-1 in the season. Not a bad start for a program that really is rebuilding, I mean, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, and in every way. We're treating this program like a startup program. But, yeah, got a good win week 1 against Panhandle down there on a road trip, our first away game as a program, and got a win. Had a tough loss there in Salina against Kansas Wesleyan, who's a really quality team, and they have been for years. We've been in some real battles with them, at our previous school. And so, I think our guys have been awesome. And, while winning is fun, unfortunately, sometimes when you're building a new program and starting over, sometimes some lessons are best learned the hard way. And so I can tell you for sure, we are truly in this for the long haul. We want to build something truly special here at Friends. We think we can. But when you take a loss like we did Saturday, we had our no lie best week of practice we've had, and so see how that pays off today.
I wanted to ask you about both those games, so I'll go ahead and we'll start with the one probably not as much fun to talk about first then. So the lessons were learned.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the biggest lesson is retention. You know, the reality is Kansas Wesleyan has a ton of older players, COVID seniors and regular seniors and every other classification that have played a lot of football. And so I think that experience really showed. You know, at one point it was 7-0 in the second quarter, and then just some costly mistakes that kind of steamrolled early, and then it got out of hand. But the lessons were definitely learned, and I think our guys, that will only help us moving forward. And so, you know, at some level you're glad as a coach it happened, even though it's really embarrassing in the middle of it, but the sun always comes up, and it came up the next day, and we got right back to work.
All right, Coach, the first game of the season, the opener on the road at Panhandle, which, by the way, tonight's contest is the home opener for Friends. So 2 games on the road to get things started. You go out to Panhandle State out in Goodwill, find yourself trailing 14-0, and then 31 consecutive points to come away with a pretty good win.
Yeah, no, a great win. Very talented. Had a lot of veterans too, so our young guys picked it up that game. So, no, it was awesome. Really proud of those kids. It was our first road win, like you mentioned, and just, you know, we just so proud of the way we traveled, and could see the excitement in the families' faces, you know. So, Friends has had some hard times here recently, and so when you do get a win, you know, for me, I've been fortunate to be a part of some championships and lots of wins at the high school and college level. But when you come to a program that struggled like Friends, to see the families and their gratitude and their excitement when their kids have success, that's what I'll remember from that game.
Coach, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the fact that tonight's opponent, Bethel, is from North Newton. It's a place that you know very well. You were up there for the last 4 years and really helped that program make a turnaround in and of itself.
Yeah, you know, we talked about that on a radio show. So look, I will not shy away from that. Look, there's I think 21 of the 22 starters today we recruited. So a staff member currently at Friends recruited those guys. And the way I put it in our radio show was I genuinely love them. I care for those kids. I can't describe in words how much they've meant to me, and I wish nothing but great things for those kids and their families as they move on past Bethel. You know, a lot of those guys are seniors right now and COVID seniors, and extremely proud of what we built there. A lot of people don't know there were 32 players when we got to Bethel College, and then we built that roster to in the 120s. Our retention rate was 90%, and so. You know, really proud of it, but at the same time, you know, Friends is a truly special place, and you know, it will be bizarre to watch those kids play and be on the other sideline. But you know, love them, proud of them, but you know, we chose Friends for a reason, and we're really excited to be here.
All right, Coach, it's after 5 right now, from what I've heard, and I drove in from Southern Oklahoma today. I was promised, by the way, I'm throwing Levi under the bus right now, the guest on here just a moment ago. If he comes back, I'm telling you, he promised me. I called him, and I said, what's the weather look like? He said, man, it's going to be sunny. 80 degrees is the high. I thought, that is great. That's not what I'm used to in Durant right now, so that's going to be wonderful. Not the case. We're inside again because it was raining earlier, and it's supposed to rain a lot between 5:30 and 6 is what I'm hearing from Dr. Rob. Mm-hmm. So does that affect the game plan any at all, or how are you going into tonight's contest?
Not for us. We call that Falcon weather, you know, and so we're going to do what we do, and you know, we've led the nation in any level in rushing for the last 3 years. So from Division I down to whatever you perceive the lowest, we've been the best rushing team in the country for the last 3 years. And so, you know, when it rains, we say bring it on, and it doesn't change our game plan a whole lot, and you know, we hope it gives us a competitive advantage.
All right, I'll drop one name really quickly. You're talking about running back or rushing, and so I'll lead with the running back. Zach Dressler has been able to perform for you through the first couple of games.
Yeah, we unbelievable kid, unbelievable family. Kansas kid, tough-nosed wrestler in high school. We recruited him out of high school at Bethel, and he told us no. And then we like to tell him he realized he regretted that, you know. And but he went to Mid-America, and through different circumstances ended up back in Wichita. And so when we got hired here in the offseason, he reached out. He was at home and said he loved it. You know, he always wanted to play with us and wish he had joined us initially. But now that we're here with a fresh start for all involved, and he is playing at an elite level. So we've got to raise the rest of our play up to where he's at. But, man, what a great teammate, solid kid, and he's, man, just done a phenomenal job.
All right, Coach, I appreciate you saying that you know, you're not a game day stressor, but I know you do have a few more things to mention. Watch the boys walk down the hall just a moment ago, always an exciting thing. They look like they're ready. Saw some parents here, too. And let me let you close with that. You were talking about families and that, you know, hey, listen, you're here for the long haul. You made some good decisions. How neat is that to see, you know, parents coming in? I mean, this is going to be a good night tonight, I believe, for Friends football. I mean, win or lose on the field, but bringing people in and folks seem excited to be here.
Yeah, well, it really is. We're calling this our family day, and so we have several recruits of kids that are considering joining us next year who are high school seniors. But we also have our returning families. One of the most bizarre deal when you take a new job is you inherit players that you didn't recruit. And probably what some people have done poorly, and feel free to steal this if you're listening, is they don't recruit the current families. And so we had current families come in and gave them opportunity to hear us recruit the families that are here. And it's just a way to show them, hey, this is who we are, this is what we're about, and put some faces with names and all that good stuff. But they're here, and so we're going to have them around as much as possible. They can say, hey, we are who we say we are, and we want to be a program that honors God, that builds these tough young men and these Christian warrior kids that when they leave here, they can go out and really change the world, for lack of better terms. That's our mission. And so excited to have them here, and man, hopefully with the hard times that Friends has had, man, we can perform today and they can be proud. And that's not necessarily a win. It's just compete in a way that does honor God, like we talked about, that honors these families and the commitment they've made to their kids. Man, if we do that today, it's a win-win for us. It's an opportunity for a top 25 win. I don't know when the last time Friends had one of those. I know we haven't won a home opener here since 2013. And so, so many milestones and so many things out there for us to go get. And, if we're able to do that, that's awesome. And if not, like you mentioned, it's just another stepping stone for our program. And, we really believe that we're going to build this thing into something truly special.
All right, Coach. I'm very, very grateful for your time. I know you got kids to take care of, and I'm going to talk a little bit longer. Hopefully we'll keep listening after you take a break here. But Coach Terry Harrison, the new head coach, it's going to be that way for a little while.
Yes, that's okay. That's all right.
At Friends University, and going to get ready to take on Bethel here in a little while. Coach,
right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. God bless you, sir.
Thank you, Joey.
And I'll take your mic, and we'll be ready just in case we get another guest. We'll see. There may be one or two more people that stop by tonight. In the meantime, let me go ahead and go back and just, let me see here. Just make sure I'm still going strong here. There we are. Go well with this. We were talking about Morningside, so let's go back to Morningside. Dort, number 21 in the country, both teams undefeated right now. We were talking about some national honors, and that's where I left off. Joe Dolenchek and Isaiah Pingle, the NAIA Offensive and Defensive Players of the Week last week for their performance in a big win over Northwestern. And I say big win, it was not a big win in terms of the point differential. It was 30-29 as the Mustangs were able to hold on for the 1-point victory over the Red Raiders, number 1 team over number 3 team. Without a doubt, the game of the week last week. That's the way that lined up. As it is now, Morningside going to take on Dort. The defenders, no slouch as well. Again, 1-0 the season, and last week Dort defeated Briarcliff 35-13. Briarcliff got a win today too. We'll talk about that in a moment. So, number 1 team in the country, Morningside, and rightfully so, defending national champions 3 of the last 4 years. They're going to be number 1. Grandview, we do have a final today from
Here we go. Pictures in here,
from
fellas.
Baker as Grandview at number 13 Baker, and it was rainy there. It's been rainy throughout Kansas and Missouri some today. So a big win for Grandview. They shut out the Wildcats 20-0 in that game. That was a 1 o'clock kickoff time. Another 1 o'clock kickoff was the number 3 team in the country, and that was Northwestern. The Red Raiders 54-7 winners today over Dakota Wesleyan. It was senior day today in Orange City, and so that was a big win for Northwestern. We'll run down through a few more things here in the top 25. Lindsey Wilson is idle today next at Cumberland's. Marion, number 5 team in the country, idle today after an 86-0 pasting of Madonna last week. They'll be taking on and hosting number 25 St. Francis next week. St. Francis, let's go ahead and pull on down to that. Losing today, St. Francis of Illinois, losing today to St. Francis of Indiana, 52-14. And so St. Francis will start the season as 0-1. And it doesn't get any easier because, again, they'll be taking on Marion on the road at Marion next week. This a 1 o'clock kickoff and a final today. Number 6, Concordia. The Cardinals, 41-24 winners today versus St. Ambrose. Cardinals start off the season with a loss against an FCS team down in Florida against Stetson. So Concordia coming away today with a victory, now 1-1 on the season. Kaiser, number 7, and Kaiser for the second week in a row is taking on an NCAA Division II, and this is a final for the second week in a row has fallen to a Division I or Division II team. Kaiser on the road at Mississippi College, and the Choctaws with a 26-8 victory today. First meeting between these two schools. Kaiser comes away with a loss on that one. traveling up I-35 to get here to Wichita, you have to pass the exit that will take you to Winfield, Kansas, and that is the home of the Southwestern Mound Builders. Southwestern, number 8 in the country, getting ready to kick off. They'll be hosting Bethany tonight in a KCAC matchup. Southwestern 1-0, and Bethany, this will be the first contest of the year. Number 9, Reinhardt, is idle this week. The game with Cumberland was postponed due to the tragic incident in which one of the former players was killed. Five current or former players in a car wreck. One of the former players killed. A couple of the current players from Cumberland injured in that. And so the contest between Reinhardt and Cumberland has been postponed. Not canceled, it says right now. It still says postponed, so we'll see what happens with that. We'll try to get you information for that a little bit later on. Ottawa, Arizona, OUAZ 1-0 on the year after a 70-0 blanking of Lyon, in which, and we talked about this on Tuesday night, Ottawa went for 9 consecutive times, made 4 of them after a missed extra point attempt with the first touchdown, scored 10 times, 70 points on the board. Ottawa hosting Southwestern Assemblies of God, and this will not be an easy contest. Sagu 1-0 on the season as well. And they have got things going under Coach Greg Ellis in his first season at the program in Waxahachie. Programming note, 2 weeks from today, we are scheduled to be in Waxahachie for Midwest Sports Saturday. So you may want to be watching for that as well. Ottawa, 9 o'clock Central kickoff time. All-time Central because I'm in the Central time zone right now, so we're talking about that as how that works out. St. Xavier from Illinois taking on St. Thomas today, and both St. Xavier and St. Thomas 0-1 coming in. St. Xavier lost at Division II UIndy last week. St. Thomas lost at Division I Butler last week. And St. Thomas was receiving votes in the poll. They'll be receiving more votes in the one that comes out next week. St. Thomas gets the 31-10 over number 11 St. Xavier. Kansas Wesleyan, another KCAC matchup tonight. This one on the road at Sterling. The number 12 Coyotes have a kickoff scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight. They defeated Friends, and we talked about that with Coach Harrison just a little bit earlier. 70-0. The Coyotes with the win last week. They moved to 1-0 on the season, trying to make that 2-0 on the road at Sterling tonight. Number 13, Baker, as we mentioned, lost 20-0 against number 2, Grandview. Number 14, Indiana Wesleyan, is idle today. Lost at Valparaiso, Division I school, 20-17. Beat Valparaiso last year, so I'm sure that Valpo enjoyed getting a little bit of turnabout there. Next week at Olivet Nazarene, so it could be a big game. Number 15, Georgetown, idle as well. The Tigers are 2-0 under Coach Oliver. Next on the road, or next hosting, number 24, Faulkner. Be watching that Georgetown defense. They're continuing to have a very, very solid season. Number 16 and number 17 facing each other today. Dickinson State is on the road at Montana Western. Number 16, Dickinson State. The Blue Hawks are 0-1 following a 17-2 loss against Division II Black Hill State last week. Montana Western 1-0 coming off a win over Eastern Oregon 48-14 last week. That one should be a final by now. However, we don't have the score just yet, trying to get set up here at Friends. So we'll get that one to you a little bit later on. We'll come back with some scores in the post game later on tonight. Number 18, Central Methodist, and the Eagles 0-2 to start the season. They've been outscored 75-0. They're hosting Clark today, and so that one should be a final by now. We'll try to get that score to you a little bit later on. Number 19, Rocky Mountain, is idle this week, next at Montana Tech. Number 20, Arizona Christian, on the road at Division II Fort Lewis College today. And that's the first meeting between those two schools. Arizona Christian still looking for its first victory after a loss against Texas Wesleyan. So Corey Thorpe, if you're watching, this was, no, this wasn't Corey's. This was Adam Ferguson's pick for a dark horse team. Texas Wesleyan could be someone's dark horse team. Lots of folks in the Sooner Athletic Conference, we're talking OUAZ, talking Arizona Christian. The Rams might have something to say in the conference. We'll see how that turns out. Anyway, Arizona Christian at Fort Lewis. We'll get a score to you on that a little bit later on. Number 21, Dort, as we mentioned, hosting Morningside. Number 22, Culver Stockton. Kickoff at 6 o'clock tonight, Central Time. They are at Evangel, and coming off a win over Mid-American Nazarene, 44-29 last week. Number 23, Bethel. there's the game that we are and have been talking about. We've been promoting this one for a while. Bethel, the number 23 team in the country, here in Wichita to take on Friends tonight. That is a 7 o'clock Central kickoff time. Number 24, Faulkner, is idle this week. Next week, at Georgetown. Faulkner 1-1 now in the year after coming off a 14-10 victory against Point. And number 25 at St. Francis, we talked about the fact that St. Francis has already lost today. So there's the score right there. Another couple of NAIA scores here in this area of the country. Since we are here in Kansas, let's talk about another Kansas school. This one taking place today in Atchison as the Ravens with 31-7 victory over Peru State, Heart of America Conference, and Benedictine getting the win there. Getting the win there. Briarcliff, I mentioned them, 31-25. Winners today over Jamestown in the GPAC. The Jimmies have been the cardiac kids of late, had the ball late once again in this one, trailing by 6 points, could not pull off a third consecutive victory. So Jamestown falls to 2-1 on the year. Lots of Division II action going on as well right now. Well, we mentioned, or we haven't talked that much about Division II yet. We've been talking a lot of NAIA football here on the program. Ferris State, the number 1 team in the country, with a top 15 matchup today. And Ferris State is at number 14, Lenora Rhine. Number 2, Northwest Missouri State at Lincoln for Missouri. That's an MIAA matchup. We'll give some scores locally here in just a moment around that. Number 3, Valdosta State, after defeating Kaiser last week, hosting Virginia Union today. That's a big game at Valdosta. Number 4, Grand Valley State, and the Lakers, after a 3-point victory over Colorado School of Mines, both Grand Valley moving up in the poll from last week after the win over then number 4 Colorado School of Mines, at number 21 Colorado State Pueblo today. And then number 5, the number 5 team in the country, the Shepherd Rams, are hosting Edinboro today, and all of those teams are 1-0. So that's from Division II. Now let's look really quickly. We're in MIAA country here as well, not just KCAC country. We are in MIAA country because Wichita is also the home to the to the Newman Jets. Bethel's coming to town too. So to the Newman Jets. Now, I recognize that Newman does not sponsor a football program. That's fine. But it's still MIAA country. So let's talk some MIAA football. Scores from Thursday night. Washburn moves to 2-0 on the season. 40-32 winners over Central Missouri. Central Missouri now 0-2 on the season. The Mules trying to get things going. New leadership there. For the Ichabods, Kellen Simoncic, 18 for 37 passing, 297 yards, and 3 touchdowns, no picks. Also from the MIAA, 2-0 on the year, Missouri Western, 35-19 winners over Fort Hays State, and all 5 touchdowns scored on the ground, so the running game going well for the Griffins. Brandon Hall, 13 carries, 104 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jared Scott, 12 carries, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. So the Griffins now 2-0. Fort Hays State, it's been a while since the Tigers have been 0-2. They start 2022 0-2. Emporia State falls at UCO. Big win as it's Coach Adam Dorrell's first victory. So the win there at home for UCO. And the Broncos go to 1-1 after the victory in Edmond. Emporia State 1-1 also there. Stephon Brown with a pass for a touchdown and a run for a touchdown, both in the fourth quarter. Emporia State had a 13-7 lead in the fourth quarter. The Broncos get those 2 scores. By the way, Stephon Brown also responsible for the other touchdown, another carry for the day. So Brown with 3 touchdowns on the day. The Broncos 21-13 victors over Emporia State. And finally from the MIAA, another Thursday night score. Pittsburgh State with a 35-28 victory over Nebraska Kearney. The Gorillas 2-0 on the year, the Lopers 1-1. And it was tied in Kearney late, but then with right at a minute remaining and 92 yards to go, the Gorillas go those 92 yards in 2 plays. With 34 seconds left, Chad Dodson to Bryce Murphy, a 72-yard touchdown pass giving Pitt State the win. And so another team in the MIAA, 2-0. Those three teams we mentioned, Washburn, Missouri, Western, and Pitt State. We'll see how Northwest Missouri fares today. We'll try to get that score to you a little bit later on and go from there. They are on the road at, as we mentioned, at Lincoln, and new leadership there. So congratulations to a lot of these teams. Again, to Coach Adam Doral for his first victory at Central Oklahoma. So we're live here from Friends University. It is Midwest Sports Saturday. I don't know if it's actually raining right now, so I am going to go out and check, but we will have some in-game opportunity to visit with you here in just a few moments. Then we'll be on for the post-game as well. I want to give a huge shout-out to Coach Terry Harrison for taking the time here with us on Midwest Sports Saturday and just visiting with us for a little bit. That means a lot. It's game day, so many things going on. I realize it's 2 hours out, but that a coach would take time to just sit and visit with me and here on the program, it does mean a lot. So, Friends hosting Bethel, 1-1 Friends. Bethel 2-0 realistically with a big victory over Atlantis earlier in the year. 1-0 I think, I don't think the other game counted, I don't think the Atlantis game counted. So 1-0, and Bethel, by the way, coming in off the win over McPherson. Bethel trailed 13-0 in that game. Get 14 points late to come back and pull off the victory there. Coach A.B. Stokes leading that program, solid program coming down from North Newton. So that is what's going on. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. I want to say thank you to all of you who are watching, and please consider liking this video, and also please consider subscribing to the channel. We are continuing to grow this channel, and we talk a lot about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. So that's what we're going to continue doing here. Midwest Saturday, we're going to sign off from this portion of our Saturday. We'll be back over on the field here in just a few moments. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. Have a great day. Keep it here on Midwest Sports Net.